So it's a conversation. The last thing Krishna said to Arjuna was, when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, right? And we replace the word Vedas with, in our day and age, when our mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the social media, of the news, of politicians, of whenever our mind is not bewildered by that, then, and when when our mind remains fixed in trance of self-realization, then we will have attained divine consciousness. So Krishna makes this powerful statement, how to remain in this divine consciousness, our spiritual self. So Arjuna ask a beautiful question here. And I love this question, mantra 54. Arjuna vacha stita pragnasya kabasha samadhistasya keshava. Stita di kim prabhaseta kim ashita vajeta kim. Beautiful question. It's a question someone who's evolving will naturally come to ask. Arjuna asked Krishna, because he just heard about the transcendental self, living in that self. So he says, oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? It's a beautiful question, because we can see in life, it is very easy for someone to say something and act another way. In our life, we can see someone forget spiritual path. We can see a police officer put on a uniform of a police, and he's authorized to, there are certain symptoms, right? Qualifications. But then we can see sometimes even a police mind gets disturbed and they do the wrong thing, right? So when a police has this uniform on, he has a certain role he has to act. You could see someone, whenever you have a certain, someone in authority, a law authority, you should live by the law. That makes you an authority, not the dress, right? The dress is to make it's just a front. So sometimes we see someone is a school teacher, and instead of teaching certain things in school to raise the vibration of the students, they could teach in a way where a student get discouraged. Like a role of a school teacher, one of the symptoms is to empower students. So we can see it in all aspects of life. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna is asking Krishna, wait, you just mentioned about connecting to the transcendental self. If I'm going to live in that transcendental self, what are the qualities I should exemplify, right? He already knows the qualities of a warrior. Arjuna, he's a protector. He knows how to defend, how to fight. He already knows. So he doesn't have to ask question about being a warrior. What is his question? His question is about him being a spiritual being. So when we understand this, then we are no longer bewildered when someone comes along in life and propose themselves as a spiritual teacher. Unfortunately, in India, if you go to India today, when I traveled around India, because masses of Indians or Hindus don't study the books. They don't study the Gita. It's for them, it's a cultural thing. It's been passed down from their grandparents, the parents to them, right? So they don't, it's just like me, like brought up in a Christian culture. I never read the whole Bible, but I was happy to put that label on myself. I am a Christian. Right? I'm a lover of Christ, but yet I never read the whole Bible, right? So in India, a lot of Indians fall into that category. So Srila Prabhupada's guru used to call it sentimentalism. The heart is awakening to something higher, but it becomes too sentimental. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to have that sentiment with knowledge. Two things are needed, head and heart. If knowledge is not there, it's just sentimental. So a lot of Indians, they follow the rituals, but because they don't read the books, one guru from South India comes to their village. Oh my Lord, he's Bhagavan. The guru tells them one thing. Then another guru from North India comes to their village, tells them another thing. Oh Lord, he is Bhagavan. Then another guru from West India comes to their village. Because they don't read, they accept everything. And so one of the problems with Westerners, when we go to India, if we don't know the philosophy, you will get bewildered. Because who's been to India before in the group? When you go to India, you will see saffron robes from north, south, east, west, all over India. And you will think, oh, that's an amazing guru. Or you will see malas, right? Big malas around your neck. Oh, he has a bigger mala, longer beard, more locks. That one locks is longer. No. All these are externals. So this question that Arjuna is asking is going to benefit all of us, so that we know when someone is actually in transcendence. A lot of time people like to make a show of transcendence, especially in the spiritual cultures, right? Unfortunately. But Krishna wants us to be real. Krishna wants us to be true. And we can see sometimes a person follows a path sincerely, very young, follows a path, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's the Vedic culture, they take up the yogic culture. And what happens is somewhere along the way, they get stuck. And then we call it the moment of truth in yoga. You have to go inside your heart and be real. But a lot of people don't want to go and do the psychic, my teachers, they call it psychic heart surgery. Right? It's painful to uproot these deep conditionings that we have. So to uproot those deep conditionings will bring us to this transcendence place. But then a lot of people, they don't want to do the work in here, but then they want to show, yes, I am very transcendent, right? And the Indian gurus, they're so intelligent and so, they come to the West and no one knows, right? But because they have an Indian body, they have a robe, they have, people in the West, oh, wow. It's like telling someone, oh, this person, my friend here is from Thailand. Oh, wow, is he good at Thai cooking? No, he might not be good at Thai cooking because he's from Thailand. No, he would have to go to a Thai cooking class or learn from his family, but to have that assumption, right? So when someone from India comes, they know the masses of Westerners will have assumptions of them. And they know they can get away with teaching any fabricated, watered down aspect of yoga. They know it. It's unfortunate. And they spin it off, and they, you know. So today, how many variations of yoga are there in the West? Unlimited. And everyone wants to say, I brought it from India, and it's the real deal. Have you heard that before? Right? Everyone is saying their system is the real deal. So Westerners are gullible. We are gullible because we think, oh, he comes from India, and they know how to play the role really good. Sit tall without moving, the beard is there, you know, and smile at people. I've seen it again and again. I think one person did a documentary. I can't remember this documentary. I saw it, like, I'll try, and if I find it, I'll email the name out. But he was a IT guy from New Jersey, born and raised in America, but he's Indian. And then he understood how the yoga culture is being exploited by Indians. So he did a whole documentary, and the documentary started with him in the Himalayas. No, not him in Kūmāré festival. So he grew his hair, he grew it matted, he had the locks. He's living in the loincloth of a yogi, and he's just straight out of New Jersey, right? And they documented him, and he's in India at the Kūmāré, and he's taking bath and with the yogis, and he doesn't know anything about yoga. But anyway, the document, and he's just showing how gullible people are. His locks gets longer and longer and longer, and then he puts on all the malas on his wrists, the big malas around his neck, and then he even get the ash. I mean, I'm trained with the ash, right? He even get the ash and put it over his body, right? Straight out of New Jersey. And then the documentary shows he leaves India and he arrives in Arizona. And in Arizona, he's there and he puts up the flyer, guru from the Himalayas, teaching transcendental meditation, whatever. You'll be surprised. After 1 year, he had a huge following, right? And they would be bowing down to him and all the whole 9 yards. And after a year, he told them he's going to take a trip, and he goes back to New Jersey, and he put together the whole video, the editing, and got all the editing and so. And he had one person who is in the center in Arizona, and then they get to see he's an IT guy. So it just shows the gullibleness of people when we have assumption of what a spiritual teacher is. He did it on a small scale. I think his ashram in Arizona had maybe like 30 people. Please go watch it, because it tells you how gullible we are when it comes to spirituality. We are seeking something beyond the eyes. But here, it's amazing. You can see some people had sincere devotion for the practice, and he would teach them easy things, right? He read a book, okay, he would teach them Nadi Shodan, like a big guru, right? It made a big show. It's to one sense, when I watched it, you see the easy gullible, how people are exploited. But then in 1 year, he had maybe like, I would say maybe 20 to 30 people at that ashram. But how about other spiritual groups that are on the planet who are misrepresenting something higher and exploiting the masses because the masses don't know what to look for? What he did in that documentary is taking place regularly all over India, unfortunately, because in India, they don't read the books. It's mostly the heart, sentimentalism. So when I would travel through India, I would see it again and again and again. But so this is a powerful question Arjuna is asking. And the way how Krishna answers it will give us tools to recognize when someone is bona fide. This is the key. So we are teaching yoga, we are teaching meditation. What makes Yogi Charu a bona fide teacher, right? Maybe Yogi Charu is bluffing everyone like Kūmāré. Maybe I'm straight out of, actually I'm not from Belize, I'm straight out of New Jersey. Right? It's amazing. So yoga culture is not a blind following. We're not into sentimentalism with blind following. Yes, yes, yes. There's the only way. No, no, no. It's with knowledge. Both things has to be there. The brain, the heart, the head, the thinking, the heart, the sentiment. Wisdom and sentiment has to be there.